kicked the
never
elevator
came
out for
back
some
up.
reason.
Yeah, our furnace display too, Thursday, there was a power surge at work. I don't know if you were at about 3 seconds, the power went out, and our furnace display, I have one of them smart thermometers, it's all jiggy now. It must have sent a spike
enough,
through
yeah.
it. And so, still working.
There
but-
we go.
We'll try it. We'll see if it's working.
Oh, we're on?
We're
I
on
don't-
the clock.
All right.
Not quite,
trying.
right?
So I will,
Yep.
We are, but I don't know. Last week we were on, but there was no sound, so I don't know.
all right. We're on the clock, so I'll open this meeting of the DeKalb County Commissioners, and the date is November 14th, 2022. You got the floor, Dottie.
Okay, well, good morning, everybody. We might as well start talking about some hiring that we have going on. The Extension Office's clerk will start later this week. 4D has a case manager also starting very soon. The Highway had somebody start last week, so that was good. They're still actually probably down to one or two, but, you know, it's hard to start too many at a time. Kind of a problem that they will have is this winter, two of their employees will be out on FMLA for a while, so pray for no snow. Then, Community Corrections is, will be doing some interviews for their part-time clerical person. They will have, 4D is taking one of the juvenile facilitators from Change. She interviewed for the case manager position with 4D, so she will be leaving there, starting at 4D, which means that Change is going to need another juvenile facilitator. So, you know, kind of move things around. Sheriff's Department is the Sheriff's Department. We keep the postings out there, keep our line in the water, so to speak, and do believe we have one confinement officer starting very soon. Judge Brown and I have talked. He has a retirement of one of his individuals at the end of this year. So he has a plan in place, and if he needs HR to assist, we are happy to do that. The clerk has one of their employees who is, her last day is today, so they know that we're available. Sunny Meadows is fully staffed for line staff. Now we just have the administrator's position open. Remember, Don's last day will be December the 13th. So I know we have a lot of moving parts. Right now we have, let's see,
difference for the whole county is Sunny Meadows really constricts us to 2 companies that'll quote the business. So I'd really, if we're gonna get serious about this, I think we need to interview everyone that put in, I read the resumes, they're all qualified from what I can see. But
Some more
boy,
than
someone that
others.
could dispense drugs
Some
would be
more than
very,
others, yeah.
Right.
would be
One
very
was kind of-
interested to me.
Yeah,
Another,
kind of another field.
yeah. it
Of
was,
expertise, but-
Retail, more retail.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it obviously can problem solver and can handle management. You're managing people, same
Yeah.
thing as,
Yeah,
but
But you're also managing the facility.
yeah, no.
yeah, I think the level of supervision, I think, is a little more complicated
Yeah.
at Sunny Meadows than it would be in a retail store or whatever. But, I mean, I didn't see anybody that we should automatically throw out
No,
at first glance, so I would certainly encourage you to
Okay,
I think we ought to
tell
interview
you-
everyone that has a good,
yep. Well, that's what
Resume.
I will do. Okay,
Screen 'em,
now that I
screen.
have a plan of attack,
Yeah.
I will do screening, phone interviews with each of these individuals and kind of put them in a scale.
So
And-
what I would suggest is
excuse
that
me.
as you do that, we try to establish some range of salary expectations from that group, and then we're going to have to go to council, and, which I think is not going to be an issue
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
And do whatever's necessary there to make that salary range where it ought to be.
I have one question that I don't know the answer to, Dottie.
Okay.
Would a nurse need to be affiliated with a physician in order to dispense meds?
You know, that's a very good question. Right now, the
Well,
dispensing.
the nurse should know. I just wanted to
Right,
throw
yep.
that out
I think
there.
as long as they're licensed in Indiana, I don't think that they need to be.
I
I
don't
don't
think so,
know.
because a nurse at a school can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's.
And
no-
that's good.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
That's good. I just
Yeah.
didn't want to fall in a hole without thinking to ask
Right.
about it.
Yeah, the insurance representative never said anything about that. It just had to be a
Nurse.
Oh. Okay, great.
Yeah. Now,
It's a good question.
right.
Every once in a while. Even a blind nut gets a squirrel once in a
A
while.
blind nut gets a squirrel.
I'm in. All right, so I was reversing it. That's my dyslexia.
That's a great malapropism. Okay.
now I will, just to throw in that they, when they did those assessments, they did a full medicine
Oh, yeah.
pharmaceutical
right, yeah.
review for each of the residents. And Leanne did say that she had a couple of nurses who would volunteer to do that on a regular basis, just to review medications and make sure that anybody who had medical issues knew how to take their medication and so forth. I'm not sure I'm in favor of that as a long-term solution. You know, I'm just, it bothers me to have a county institution that has to survive on volunteers.
Yeah, donations.
And donations and so forth, but we do have that, at least on a short-term basis, we could handle some of those medication issues.
I think the extra money we would pay a nurse over above anyone else we would recapture that in savings and insurance.
Savings.
Premiums.
You're
Plus,
right, yeah.
plus we would have confidence that the folks are receiving the proper medication at the right times and, you know, maybe dodge a liability issue, plus provide better care for those residents. So that's just my thoughts.
Okay, wait, 1 second, please. I need to say two things. I have been, so everybody's aware and this is on record, I have been messing with the recording on and off multiple times because there is no picture, but there's only sound. So just so it's on the record, we're not purposely taking this offline so that nobody can hear it. There is a problem with the system. I'm working with IT to try to get it fixed. So there is sound now, you just can't see a picture.
Okay.
And then as for if you want him to speak, that's your choice.
Thanks, Susan. Good to know. Okay, moving forward.
Do you want him to ask his question? He had a question.
Have to come to the podium.
My name is Tom Reeves. I have
I'm sorry, what
limited-
was it, Tom?
Tom, not Thomas, Tom Reeves,
And where do you reside?
Spencerville,
Your address, please.
6883 Front Street.
Thank you.
In regards to the prescriptions to nurse, are you talking narcotics or what? That's my question at this point. Because narcotics has to have a prescription.
They all have prescriptions.
Okay, so,
So I don't know what the
That would-
mix
my-
of medicine is, but
okay, you're just what I heard you guys say in layman's terms is that you just want somebody to dispense these drugs. You want a nurse that's qualified for that, which would probably have to be an RN. I'm just,
Yes, I think so, yes.
like I said, I have limited, knowledge in regards to this anymore. But with the prescriptions being passed out, my curiosity is that the prescriptions are wrote by the doctor and the nurses are carrying them out. Okay, I was hearing it wrong then. I apologize for that.
The nurses, currently, we dispense the drugs without nurse assistance, and it's a liability problem. We only have 2 insurance companies that'll quote our whole insurance for the whole county. That's really got our hands locked to save money on our insurance because there's only a couple companies that'll allow us to do what we're doing currently.
Okay, well, the liabilities, I understand in today's world.
Yeah, it's very serious.
Yes, that was just my question.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right,
Okay, kind of moving on, on the 16th in the afternoon, starting at 3 o'clock, we will have 2 Medicare meetings. Anthem will be coming in, and voluntary meetings for our employees, their spouses, and even the parents of employees, if they would like to learn more about what their plans could possibly be. So, and then we'll have another meeting on November the 30th. On work comp, I have a couple, actually safety, taking a look at doing some CPR training probably in 2023, and looking at our first aid kits, the current program, what we have. And then with regard to work comp, I did have a meeting with Tasha Eicher out at Parkview DeKalb with Mike this past week, and we talked about the state of our relationship with their occupational health clinic and our work comp, and also the emergency room for our work comp, work-related illness, injuries, incidents, and we talked about how maybe we could make it easier for Parkview to actually, to get things in the system correctly. Mostly, during the day when the occupational health clinic is open, we don't have a problem with it. It's when we have employees who have to go to the ER after hours and they're not equipped with the authorization, the paperwork. So those departments that have those 24/7 situations, we're going to work through that to make sure that our employee has the authorization paperwork already signed so that they can be, they'll be treated regardless, but to make sure that the billing happens correctly. We don't want the billing to go through the individual's health plan, their personal health plan, and sometimes that has happened. Or the employee thinks, well, of course it was a work comp claim, and so they don't pay the invoice, the statement when they get it, and then they end up going to collections. So sometimes there's some issues, and so it was a great meeting to talk about that. And we'll see what we can do to facilitate that situation so that our employees aren't inconvenienced, and we know that they will get the care that they need and not be stressed out by, a collection agency checking on their, why they haven't paid the bill. And then, go ahead, Mike. Oh, okay, yeah. Anyway, so that was great to have a chance to talk to her. I do want to talk a little bit about what the council has been talking about, longevity pay, and I've brought this up before. The council recommended that the job classification subcommittee talk about it. We did, and then it went back to council last week. And council has, one of the things that we decided at the job classification subcommittee meeting was that they would like to have some input from department heads. So that is going to be a topic of discussion at the December 7th, 1 p.m. department heads meeting in the White Room at the Annex. And trying to get department heads' ideas. Do they feel longevity would be a good thing? Would they prefer to have some sort of extra days off instead of money? There were quite a few ideas thrown out at the subcommittee meeting, and then it kind of morphed into a more, instead of a years of service, but sort of a reward that the department head could bestow upon individual employees for going above and beyond. And so, we're really talking about two totally separate things: years of service, longevity, and then, say atta girl, atta boy sort of ideas. So anyway, we're going to talk about that. If you guys are available, anybody, I'm sure it would be nice to have somebody in attendance. That's December 7th at 1 p.m. in the White Room. And that kind of goes along with,
Definitely be there.
what?
I will be there.
Oh, okay, thank you.
1 o'clock?
1 o'clock, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One thing that I think a great way to discourage up-and-coming workers or people that have been working hard and continue to work hard is just to give someone a raise because they've been there a long time. I'm not saying it's not important to have long-term employees, it is, but it's much more important to pay on production instead of on time, in my opinion. I think good quality candidates that stay a long time would appreciate the extra pay due to their hard work, not necessarily the fact that they've occupied a seat, so.
Well, generally, though, if somebody is not doing the job, they're not going to be here anyway.
I am
40 years.
I'm feeling a lot better about that than when I came on board.
Yeah.
Initially, when I came on board, we had department heads who didn't know that they could actually terminate an employee. We really did, and it was like, yes, you could do that. Have you done any performance evaluations? No. Have you talked to the person? No. Have you, and I asked all those questions. I think we're doing a much better job now with those conversations that we're having, those ongoing conversations about employees and their production. So I'm feeling better. Instead of an employee who has been here for 20 years, it's not 1 year of experience 20 times. It's actually 20 years of experience. And there's a difference.
As I had stated last week, they do get rewarded for being here, the longevity in their PTO days.
PTO.
Well, but a lot of the departments have trouble giving people their time off now because they can't spare people. So extra days off, I don't think is a real great thing. I mean, Susan's department, she can't hardly let the people have the time off that they've got accumulated now.
And if time off is out of the question in my mind. Our employees work 8.9 months of the year.
Yeah,
They have almost 3 months off,
yeah.
or a little over 3 months
Yeah.
off, when you figure up all their time, their PTO, and everything else, holidays. So time off isn't even an option in my mind. Who has the final say on this?
Council.
Council?
Yeah, since it's money.
Wage related.
It's a somewhat complicated issue, but if you balance what it costs to replace and retrain somebody who leaves for a better position, who's got 20 years of experience, I mean, just the training expense to get somebody back to that level is tremendous. Even more so here than like in a retail setting, and so forth. Too, and then if you couple that with the effect on customer service of a brand new person starting over, when you have that turnover from your experienced people in the job market today, and I don't see this softening. I mean, there's just so much poaching going on, and it's just a bidding war for good people. We've got to have some recognition of what we need to do to keep our experienced people who are doing a good job here and engaged with the county.
Yeah, talking about poaching, I mean, we have these new restaurants coming on board out there on the west side. Where are they going to find the employees? Currently, all the restaurants have now hiring signs anyway, so
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be tough.
the people that work here are our greatest assets.
Right.
I mean, hands down, we can operate somewhere other than the courthouse. We can have meetings in a cardboard box in the corner, but you can't function as a government without qualified people to do those jobs. And we need to be aware of that and treat them accordingly.
Well, and that goes along with the email about recognition, the years of service certificates that we started last year, and we do have some employees who are leaving at the end of this year with significant years of service. Dave Chirp has been here for 25 years. Somebody, we have Don Pearson is another one. He's been here about 31.
Wow.
Mike Gerber, leaving with almost 20 years. And Donna King, if you consider all of her years of service, about 11 years of service. Mm-hmm. So, there are people, with significant years of service, and department heads not being able to allow employees to leave for their PTO was actually discussed at the subcommittee meeting, because the employee has been here for so long, they have so many days off, you can only carry over 10 days every year, each year, and so sometimes it's really hard to get all those days in before your anniversary date. But it's much better than having that big exodus at the end of the year when we used to give all the PTO vacation on January 1, because then, you had half of your staff gone.
It's a balancing act, certainly, because we have to be cognizant and responsible of spending taxpayer money on salaries and benefits. But at the same time, those same taxpayers expect when they come to the county to do business that they have competent people to deal with and adequate or better than adequate customer service. and all of the things that go along with that. So, you know, it's kind of one of these things.
It is, yeah. Yep. I just have two more things. One was, Jim said that he was going to have the redacted survey results to us. And so I wasn't sure if you were wanting to disseminate those maybe at the department heads meeting, if that would be a good thing. Jack has room in the agenda to be able to throw that in there. Or if you wanted to post those on the intranet, might be a good idea to present them with some commentary before it's given to employees. So anyway, Jim?
I will have it next week.
Hey.
I just totally forgot. I guess I misplaced the note when you brought it up before because it didn't come to my attention, and I apologize.
Okay, all righty. The last thing is, don't forget to get me copies of the evaluations that you did last week for the department heads, so that they can be in their personnel files. And then I will be sending a spreadsheet to Teresa to make sure that every employee has had their evaluation. So anyway, that's all that I have. So, anybody have anything for me?
Todd, anything for Dottie?
We've been good.
Mike?
Nothing else, no.
Okay.
I've got my evaluations done. I didn't do one for Don, obviously. I don't think we need to do that.
I know, and I don't have an update on Dawn. I sent a message this morning, and I hadn't heard by the time that I came over. So,
Lita, you have,
no, Lita might, okay, you might,
You have to come.
you better come up to the microphone.
please.
I did see Don over the weekend. He is out and about. He has just a slight droop in one lip. Otherwise, he's recouping very well. So he is out and about.
Great.
Good.
Good to
thank you,
hear.
Lita.
Oh, great. That's good to know. All righty, well, I will be in touch with those phone screening interviews then.
Yes.
Okay,
All right, thanks.
thank you.
See you, Daddy.
All right.
Before we go further, Ben Parker said he does not have anything for you guys today unless you have something for him. So if you don't have anything,
Put
then
him in for the buggy ordinance.
Fine. Whatever you think.
He wasn't scheduled in till 10:15.
Yeah, he wasn't on the list till 10:15 though. Let me shoot him a text, see if he can come in for this.
I'm
Then
talking.
be done. Okay.
Yeah, if he's got time, have him come in and bring those numbers with him. Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's 15 minutes from now.
Right.
He could drive fast.
Okay, let's move on to payroll. October 23rd, November 5th.
I'll move to approve both the October 23rd and November 5th payroll.
Second.
A motion is second. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Motion carries. Claims, we just had a little small batch.
Yeah. Make a motion to approve claims.
Second.
A motion is second. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, the same. Claims are approved. Minutes. Chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve minutes. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Minutes are approved. Travel request.
$28 worth, I'll move
I
to
didn't even
approve that.
see a request. It was that, I don't think I could open it up on my phone, though. It was one of them extensions. What was the request?
There were some
Small
were-
ones?
zeros from the health department and one for $28
Oh.
and $23.
Yeah, it was very minimal.
Okay.
Motion?
Go ahead, Mike.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and second to approve travel. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Travel is approved.
Speaking of travel, while I'm thinking about this, I talked to Cheryl last week. Their environmental person gets the entire year's worth of meetings at one time, and they're all zero because there's no expense involved. And she asked if they, instead of filing those each one, if they could just file those requests for the entire year at one time. Is there any problem with that, Susan, on your end? Just to save a little paperwork.
So they just want to file once a year ahead of time, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me any. If they're zeros, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll just have it, it'll just be that, so we have the document that says for the year, so if any accidents or anything happen,
Makes sense.
we know that you guys looked at it and approved it, and
Okay.
Okay. Consensus is all we need, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yep.
Sunny Meadows report. Skip over that for a bit. Come back to it later. Capital Improvement Plan.
that was the draft ordinance I sent again to see if there's other changes you guys want done to it so that we can change it and have it ready to roll.
Any suggestions or changes on the improvement plan?
Pretty basic to me. Just a guide that we go by, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an estimate of how we,
Everything we discussed previously.
yeah,
Right.
So,
And it's not set in stone particularly.
yeah.
Okay, I will put it in a final draft for next week.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Miscellaneous topics. Got anything, Todd?
No, just need to keep moving hard on the highway department, get those numbers down. We discussed, where we at on possibly downsizing the shop, or have we taken that any more serious discussion?
I'm not sure. Dusty wants to have a sit down with me and talk
Okay.
about that. I'm assuming that's what he wants to talk about.
Okay,
And so I'll get with him probably this afternoon
okay,
and see what his thoughts are on that. And that's something we may not have to do
right.
in order to get the money where we need it. But
I'd rather not, but if we have to.
everything's on the table.
Yeah, good, all right.
so I'm working on some numbers with the ARPA money. We'd already talked about the $250,000 for the water line on ARPA funds. And I think we could probably do the water line, the construction contingency that we talked about the other day, in another $1 million. So that is going to push that
Okay,
gross, or that number down.
Right. The only
Quite a
thing
bit.
is, council's going to have to approve that.
I think we can get it done.
I'm all for using ARPA money for however we can to keep the total cost down, but I still want to cut some costs out of it too.
Well, yeah,
If we can.
I'm okay with
But I
that.
don't want to walk over dimes to pick up pennies.
Yeah.
In other words, I don't want to cut for the sake of cutting and then wish later that we,
Well,
You know.
if you're looking at a project that's going to be
yeah,
30, 40 years, let's Yeah, we don't want to.
Yeah, $1 million is a lot of money. I mean, if we're only gonna cut 50 grand out of something and it's gonna cause a headache later, I don't wanna do that, but
No.
if we're cutting significant amounts and we're not gonna miss,
Right.
you know, but
And
yeah,
we'll know more when we get the,
yeah.
when we get the money, dollar amounts from,
And the more cash that we can throw into it instead of borrowing, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm all for it.
that brings us maybe to the ARPA sheet we have in front of us.
That might come back at another time. I think the committee might meet again on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I guess my question is, today is, we have this in front of us. Is this something that we favor as commissioners? The center column.
To be honest with you, I didn't read it
What
all
was the question?
very,
Do we favor what's in the center column? In other
Okay,
words, that
what's
was
in the
original.
center, the center column is what you guys already motioned, approved to go to the council the first time, and they didn't approve everything. So they're wanting a new full plan to come back to them. So I gave you what the committee had done,
Okay,
what you
I missed
first
that.
suggested, and then it should be
Did you have a
printed
hard
there.
copy there in front of you?
Todd,
Todd?
it should be, it's
oh,
this,
I'm sorry.
I am.
Staring right
I am
at it.
not in favor of the, I am not in favor of the middle distribution that's on that sheet.
right, because some of that has already been changed,
Council won't approve that one anyway,
right?
so,
They won't.
no.
Yeah, this is when we were discussing using a lot
So-
of it for highway and such.
I would, yeah, I would ask you to let me bring the committee back together, bring a revised plan to the commissioners for discussion and approval, and then have that to the council for our December meeting for final appropriation.
Well, I think, what do you think, Todd? Is that,
We have a committee for a reason. I mean, you know, I think that would be fair.
I think it's a given, the 900,000 goes back into the highway. That's a
Well,
given.
I think we about have to do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're short.
Which, yeah. The new location, is there anything going to be available for that?
Well, Mike just said,
Other than the water extension?
Oh, yeah, I'm planning on that.
well, you said $1 million plus maybe the water extension, didn't you?
I'm looking at about 1.5 million.
$1.5 million
Yeah.
overall? Okay,
That would help.
that would help.
Yeah.
That'd help. I mean, that's 15% of the cost.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'd be open to hearing what the committee come up. I'd encourage them to help us as much as possible with highway, just, you know, especially since we're borrowing money into a higher interest rate period than we were just a year ago. Quite a bit higher, about 3 times higher.
yeah. Right, right. Yeah, that's going to make a big difference on that cost. Okay. Any other miscellaneous topics?
Are you guys
Just to
ready?
clarify real quick, we have already, though, guaranteed the fire departments that money, right?
That was appropriated at
Yes.
Yeah.
last week's meeting.
It's hard to see. I do have little tiny red X's.
Okay.
But it got covered up with the black. So those two were,
Fire
Oh, I see it
departments
now.
and,
yeah, it's really hard to see.
Those are already done,
and
is what
Sunny
I'm saying.
Meadows were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
I,
per- yeah.
Yeah.
I moved those over here.
Okay, yeah, I see that red X's
So
now.
on your third column,
Yeah.
the already approved, I
I
added
gotcha.
them on
Check in the mail?
there. Not quite.
So we've, 1.148 million is what we've already
Right.
Spent.
spent,
Right,
or
basically.
appropriated at least.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
7 million left
Okay.
or so, 7.2.
And we have a number of very sincere thank yous from the volunteer fire departments.
Oh, I'm sure.
About a what?
A number of very sincere thank yous from the volunteer fire departments.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working on getting that out to make sure we cross all our Ts and dot our Is so we don't
Right.
have any findings with audits.
I would insinuate it should be out.
I know.
I'm just
I'm
picking.
putting it on the record.
There you
I
go.
am working. I'm not
Okay.
stopping on it.
Yeah,
Yes, have a real goal of not using all that $400,000 audit reserve for audits.
No kidding.
You know, and I've been thinking about this audit thing and the scope of the amount of money we're spending and the small scope we really have. We don't have hundreds of projects going out.
Yeah.
I can't imagine an audit would take more than 2 hours to sit down and say, okay, you threw $1.5 million at your highway department, build a building, and I know it's government, but still.
Obviously, you've not dealt with
No,
SBOA.
I haven't, but it seems to me like they've pretty much taken the cuffs off and said, hey, you can pretty much use it for, within reason, for what you need.
Normal operating expense.
Yeah,
So it's just a
But if
matter of-
I don't follow
I know,
what they're wanting and the parameters on making it happen, then we're going to get
I know.
dinged.
I just seems to me like we're $400,000 set aside. And didn't they want 800,000 to start?
Originally, they recommended 800,000.
In the wrong business. I need to be an auditor.
our county audit doesn't cost us that much, does it? What is that?
No.
No, it's like 30 grand, isn't it, or 20? Or
State audit?
Our last one went up. I can look it up real quick.
but it wasn't. I think you told me it was 30 grand or something.
I forget what that was.
And that's for the operation of a $42 million budget.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
But that also has some federal in it as well.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's no
Well,
big deal. I was
that's
just-
the issue, because you have to audit from a federal standpoint too, on the ARPA money, since it's
I get it. Again, the scope of the project's so small, though, it shouldn't be hard to go through receipts and say, looks legit, have a
Yeah,
nice day.
I think you're probably right. I have high hopes of being able to use a big chunk of that 400,000
Yeah.
for something else worthwhile.
Yeah. Well, if you go through the audit and you have money left after and they've audited you, couldn't you use that money then, since you've showed that?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, we've gotten one so far that was just for the 2021 audit. That's just a little over 26,000.
Right.
We'll have another one coming, but it won't be as much.
okay.
Okay, we're at 9:15 on the clock, so we will suspend the commissioners' meeting and open the public hearing for comments and discussion. And we will start out with the commissioners. Any comments, Todd or Mike, you'd like to make concerning the buggy ordinance and
No, not really. I've received a couple emails. I don't know if you received them also.
No, I don't think so.
Want me to read them real quick?
Sure.
Okay, first one's from Lynn Reinhardt, which,
Oh, yeah, I did get that one, yeah.
okay. Can I just read it real quick, the whole thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Dear DeKalb County Commissioners, I submit this information to be included in the public comment for an amended ordinance or against the currently proposed ordinance, whichever is most appropriate. I agree it is only fair to all residents and taxpayers of DeKalb County that there be a licensing fee for horse-drawn buggies / vehicles in the county. The difficult decision you are faced with is determining what would be an equitable fee or should be. I do not agree with the comments you got at your initial hearing a few weeks ago that a licensing fee was not needed or that you were singling out a group of people. However, I also do not believe that you can easily draw conclusions from the data information you have based on the information from LaGrange County. LaGrange County has the highest population of Amish residents in the state of Indiana and the third highest in the U.S. at 14,000. Nearly 38% of the county's population it's nearly 38% of the county's population. You are estimating that there might be 200 buggies here in the county. That would be 1/35 of approximately 7,000 buggies registered in LaGrange County. Therefore, the damage they see in 1 year might take 35 years for us to see. A better conclusion might be drawn from one of the 14 counties on Indiana with an Amish population of 100 to 999, which would include Steuben and Whitley. In the absence of looking for information from comparable counties, I might suggest that the 200 to 250 you originally proposed might be a good place to start. Alternatively, you could take LaGrange County's annual road repair cost attributable to horse and buggies and divide it by the 7,000 registered to come up with a damage use per buggy. You need a fee that is equitable to all DeKalb County residents. Lastly, this ordinance could this ordinance include an exclusion for qualifying 501c3 organizations? Their use of public roads would be very limited, and for the benefit of the public as a whole, horse-drawn vehicles operating solely on city streets, which would encompass things as the DeKalb County Free Fall Fair Parade, should also be excluded for the same reasons. Plus, the city, not the county, is responsible for their streets. That's Lynn Reinhardt. Can we read Mary's real quick?
Yeah, I just got that one.
Okay. This is from Mary Deal. Good morning. I'm writing in support of the proposed buggy tax. The southeast corner in the last 2 to 4 years has seen an increase in the Amish population. That population is heavily concentrated in Spencer Township. However, Concord Township has seen an increase as well. The west edge of Concord Township is 6 miles from the county courthouse. The Amish are already edging closer to Auburn on the east side. Once a Dollar General is constructed on the east side, that will be the closest store to them via buggy. Unfortunately, many have seen this as an anti-Amish discussion. Several who are against this do not live in the southeast and frankly do not understand the impact this influx of Amish have had on us. It's important to all to contribute when you belong to a community. It's imperative to find an equitable way to generate funds to maintain our roads. Thank you for your time. Mary Hollaball Deal. So those are like 2 I received, so
Yeah, it's the only 2 I received.
just wanted to put them
Both
on
this
record.
morning.
Yeah.
Any other comments?
Well, I'd comment on Mr. Reinhardt's. 35 years, I can guarantee you, County Road 64 won't last 35 years.
And it's, what I took from, and he kind of contradicted himself because he talks about the large number and then he talks about damage per buggy. And that's what we're looking at, damage per buggy. It's not overall damage, how fast it occurs, it's damage per buggy and miles that the buggy is on that road. And that's probably impossible to calculate,
Oh,
but
yeah.
still, we gotta have something, or we might as well we're just wasting our time. Ben, do you have those numbers with you? Yeah, would you come up and turn on a mic and go through those numbers for the public
Morning, Ben.
that's present and online to hear?
For the record, I was never not in favor of an ordinance. It's just a matter
How much?
of where the fees fall.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think, for the most part, Lynn Reinhardt's comments were fairly well thought out.
Yeah, I think I think his were thought out. I just, again, LaGrange doesn't even matter to me because their roads are horrible. They don't even fix them correctly.
Yeah.
So they're at $10,000 a mile. They're only covering the material cost, not the labor, and they're not being repaired to the correct standard. So,
Well, and we could end up, maybe not the whole county, but the
Right.
southeast quadrant could end up looking like LaGrange.
yeah, right, yeah. It's where the,
And so we need to be ahead of the 8 ball instead of behind it.
right.
As far as I'm concerned. What you got, Ben? You got some numbers?
What numbers are you want, Bill? Just the ones that I give you as far as just replacing or repairing the
Right.
troughs?
Those repair costs.
Yeah, just the.
You know, it breaks down too. I mean, each road's gonna be different. I mean, as far as the cost per mile, I mean, some roads probably be damaged more than others. I got an estimate here of filling horse troughs with an HMA surface averaging 3 to 4 inches deep by 30 inches wide with the tack is around 3160 per single lane mile only. Then to apply a single chip seal over a 3-foot area with native stone is around 1754 per single lane mile material only. So both 1 and 2 is 4914 per side times both sides would be 98.28 a lane mile for both sides of the road.
And that's about
And
what
that's
LaGrange
just-
came up with, right?
Right, and that's just the trough area.
Yeah, that's not chip and,
That's not chip seal. That will be chip sealing over the trough area only.
yeah.
And that's
to do it-
material.
To do it
That's
right,
material only. That's no cost, that's no
Right.
labor, that's nothing. Then I have a number, milling and replacing, mill 4 foot by 5280, replaced with HMA binder at $175 a ton equals $90,342. Times 2 would be $180,684. That's contracted out price. That's if we was to hire it done. To apply single chip seal over entire roadway at 20 foot wide, 5,280 feet, is 13,950 material only.
yeah. And I think that would be almost a must, is to chip and seal the entire roadway. If you do that strip, it's not gonna seal up those joints.
Right. You know, that's gonna all depend on the damage too. I mean, you're gonna have roads that's probably gonna be damaged more than others. You know, it's gonna be hard for us or even me to give you a good exact factual number, until we start seeing the damage that we get from it moving forward. So I based all this on was statistics from other counties. You know, I have seen, the last couple of years, I'm seeing more wear as, the buggy out and traffic grows in the county. You know, the 7 years I've been here, we have not went out and just physically replaced buggy damage. You know, but I am seeing it now, you know, more so. But how long will it be before we get to a point we have to do these kind of repairs is
Right.
debatable. You know, it just, I can't answer that. That's the crystal ball. But I do know there's cost there in repairing it. Costs go up every year or two. Yeah, they ain't went down.
Right,
So, but that's the cost as of I had for today, based off the damage other counties is seeing.
You have a off-the-cuff estimate on the labor required too, out of curiosity? I mean,
I didn't figure that.
a guesstimate. I mean, what's
I'd have
it,
to sit there
how
and
much
punch
time
some-
does it take for 6 people to fix a mile of roads the way you're talking? I mean, a couple weeks?
Well, I'd have to sit and really figure that before I'd throw something out there, Todd.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't prepare that for you, so.
All right.
and the thing is, we have the labor on hand to do it. The trouble is, we have to divert the labor from other projects to do the
Right.
horse and buggy damage, then that's, takes away from other projects, labor-wise.
Yeah.
Time and money. Yeah, and I think a comment I'd like to make is general road use. I mean, whether it's gravel or asphalt, there's certain maintenance costs to all of our roads, and I just feel that everybody should share in that cost. They use the roads, we keep the roads, we grade the roads, we put gravel on the roads, and it all costs money. And everybody else pays, and I think it's just equitable that all members of the community pay a share of that. So, that's Mike, Todd, anything further?
No.
Thank you, Ben.
Yep.
Bringing that up, kind of late.
Yeah, I kind of scrambled to get this stuff around. I wasn't prepared for it, but.
Yeah. Okay, at this point, we will go ahead and solicit audience input. So we will start with those in favor of the ordinance. So anybody'd like to speak in favor of us passing this ordinance, would you come up to the podium and state your name and address and what do you have to say?
My name's Tom Reeves. I live at 6883 Front Street, Spencerville. I'm not here to disc on anyone. I'm just here because I see the damage that's been done. Front Street, you guys just went in, the county, went in and did a seal on the road. A few days later, there was tracks all over the road. Front Street looks like it's just a ribbon of trails from the wheels of the buggies. The stones are knocked away because of the hoofs. I'm understanding that there are certain horseshoes that do more damage than others. And it's apparent from the road. We have that Dollar General. There's always traffic coming up. They cross the bridge, which that ought to be something to think about at this point too. That's a wooden bridge with those metal horseshoes. You guys just spent about $500,000 on that bridge, if I'm not wrong. But anyway, it's just a steady stream up Front Street. They come across the bridge, up Mill Street, up Front Street, and all the way on up. Instead of going up one, they go up Front Street, which is, I guess I can't call it a residential area, but as solid houses, we are still falling under the rules of county. We're not a township or anything. We're just there. So, but it's not only that. Hey, we get tired of all the manure on the road too. I mean, there's other issues besides this with the buggies. There's safety hazards, lighting that's not used properly. Days like today in the sun, when the sun is not out as bright, these buggies hide in the shadows. When there's a 55 mile an hour speed limit, and you got a horse and you're going over a rise and he's doing 15 mile an hour, it makes it difficult. I personally had to really do some serious driving at various times in the last 5 years on County Road 68 because it's just approaching and it puts it into a dangerous situation. I'm not here to disc on the Amish at all because I have Amish friends. I know people that, they're nice people. They're good-hearted people. But sometimes religious freedoms, well, I won't even get into that. I apologize for that. So anyway, I've had several people. You guys kind of work at an hour that the working man he can't get here. And I've been asked by various people to speak to this. There was supposed to be a few other ones here to speak on it because the communication that I'm getting they're not happy. And it's not just a few of us. There's quite a few because of the traffic and what's happening to the roads. It's very obvious with this new seal that was put on the Spencerville roads. The damage that's been done. I don't know what, I'm not an expert on that, so I can't mention. All I know is what I can see. You guys are the ones that put the money out for it through the taxpayers, of course. But there's a lot of people that's not happy with this. The recreational, I have friends, quite a few of the guys I know that have with the Horsemen's Association. I don't see where this kind of money that they're not on the road every day. You get out after all the men are home from work and they get out of their vans and out from everything. I'm talking about the Amish men that work in construction. They get out of their vans, they get in their buggies, and they go do their thing. And they're all over the roads. They're out late at night. They're out in storms. So there's a lot of traffic out there that is really dangerous in today's world. Like I said, I'm not here to disc on them. I'm just here because there's some real safety concerns and there's damage done, yes. That's what I have to say at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. This is for, Mary.
Is what?
This is for
In
the
favor.
ordinance. Are you speaking for?
It's just a question.
No.
About I don't know what the whole ordinance is. Does it have an amount in it now or not?
No. That's to be determined today.
Okay, I have no problem with the ordinance of a horse-drawn vehicle having a license, never did.
Okay, so you're for it.
But it has to be reasonable.
It has to be equitable.
Okay, can we have you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yeah, Mary Smoltz, 1205 Roger Drive, Auburn, Indiana.
Thank you.
I will say it needs to be equitable. It needs to be an amount that will actually address the damage.
But the damage isn't all done by DeKalb County residents. What about Allen County buggies at
We
right?
we can't do anything about Allen County buggies coming into DeKalb County. We have no jurisdiction over those buggies.
So DeKalb County residents will be,
That works both ways. You understand?
I do, but Allen County has a different philosophy apparently because their amounts are much different.
Well, that's Allen County. We're not Allen County.
Well, then I may not be for it if that's how it's going to be.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else for? Yes, sir. Get your name and
Tim
address.
Maldini, Auburn, 5973. I'm just for it. I think we ought to all have to pay it. I mean, otherwise, I got several vehicles. I'm just going to start running without license plates too. And if anybody pulls me over, as far as I'm concerned, that's discrimination. If they're okay not to have a license plate, why should I have to have a license plate? I have to pay sales tax on everything I buy. You know, if they don't even have a VIN number on their buggy, why not? Everything we own has to have a VIN number. Snowmobiles, four-wheelers, everything has to have a VIN number. And it's nothing against them. I do business with them. I don't have any problem with them. They're very respectable people. It's just fair play. If they want to use the highway, then they should have to pay to use the highway. I mean, it's just like if you go up to use a tow road, you got to pay to use a tow road, whether you pay taxes for plates or anything. But why isn't everything VIN numbers, or why isn't everything sales tax on their stuff just as well as ours is?
Good question.
I mean, it seems like things are not being looked at.
Yeah.
And they're fair. They want to pay fair too. So it's just, I think they ought to have to do it just as well as the rest of us have to.
And part of the goal today is to determine what is fair, what is going to work, what is equitable,
Right.
what's going to fix the damage.
Right.
And considering the fact that horseshoes create a lot more damage than a rubber-tired car.
Well, and seeing, I'm pretty sure if we had tractors with steel wheels, we weren't be allowed to run down the road.
Yeah.
So they have the option to run rubber shoes. I don't know what's the reason they don't, but it's the same deal. We couldn't run steel down the road.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What was your road? I'm sorry, sir.
5973 County Road 52.
52, thank you.
Anyone else for? Last call. Okay, we will switch over to those against the ordinance. Anybody want to speak against the ordinance? State your name and address.
David Gehrig is the name, and address 5754 County Road 35.
What was your name?
David Gehrig is the name.
David Gehrig?
David Gehrig.
Five 5754 County Road what?
35.
Thank you.
I just wanted to comment just a little bit. The plate part for the buggies is okay, but my opinion about the fee amount is too excessive. Allen County's got road problems. I realize it's DeKalb County. They don't fix them. They never have. some places badly deteriorated more than others, but it's because it's been years and years. So my idea about it is that the plate fee is okay, but it needs to be done within reason. Not pad them fees because the commissioners want money or the county wants a lot of money. You know, the state government is supposed to pay for these road issues and repairs. I mean, all the cars and traffic for the English people, that it comes from the state government. So in other words, don't single out the Amish just because the horseshoes, create more wear and tear or damage on the road than, with the cars and trucks. There's a lot of trucks that's severely overloaded. They don't get caught. Nobody does anything about it. Certain roads get more traffic with the semis, overloaded trucks, especially in the spring of the year. You got sand spots, different places. They're going to tear up quicker and easier. That's always been. We need to keep them in repair. The gravel roads, I've seen improvement with the grading within the last year, but before that there was a problem, especially in the spring of the year. The roads, blacktop or gravel, are going to get soft. Certain areas are going to break up more than others. So yes, we need repair, but it needs to be respectable on behalf of the Amish, not just because somebody wants a bunch of money. Okay?
Okay.
What fee would you propose?
I think it should be fair and competitive, like with the English people. Maybe horseshoes are different. They're metal. Steel wheels.
Well, your last comment was $50 was too much. That's why I wanted to know what you thought now.
What was it again?
Last time you were in, you said $50 was too much money, so I want to know what your stance is now.
50's okay, but
So you've changed your mind?
50 probably would be okay. I mean, in DeKalb County, they don't have the plates on the buggies. That's the way I understand.
That's correct.
You compare to Allen County, their plate fees are not maybe 50. I didn't look into it, but they got a lot of road damage, certain roads, but they don't fix them. They never have.
So what does that tell you about their fee?
Well, I don't know what they don't charge very much.
Right. And so they don't fix anything either.
That's true. So, I mean, fairness is a big word here, on behalf of those, because the Amish population is moving out into the DeKalb County more, expanding. It takes years and years to get that much. If you look at the roads in DeKalb or Allen County, it takes years for that their groove in a road to get like that. That ain't something that happened overnight.
Yeah,
Just normal maintenance, can keep things, pretty decent. A lot of the roads are gravel in our county. There ain't really no damage to speak of in that respect. You see what I'm saying?
There is maintenance cost.
Yeah, I know, cost, because you got fuel and, you replace the trucks with the graders when that's needed.
There's grader blades, there's fuels, there's insurance, there's labor.
Overhead is a
There's
problem.
depreciation.
Everybody's got
Nobody
problems
really
with it.
figures out what it actually costs to maintain a gravel road, I don't think. They don't realize what it takes.
Contribution to help on their part, if there's no plate on the horse-drawn equipment currently, then contribution is a word that should be used, I think, appropriately to be fair and square with everybody. The rubber tires don't make a lot of problems. Not as much as the semis or the cement trucks and stuff like that.
What does a semi pay?
Huh?
What does a semi pay in fees?
I don't know, because I didn't look into it, but they got road use taxes.
Maybe you should look into
About
that.
$4,000 a year. About 4,000 a year.
That was my guess.
Yeah.
But that's a different category,
Oh, no. We're talking about road damage and how much they pay. Not different not in relationship to the damage and the cost. That's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about comparing buggies to semis as far as physical what they look like. We're talking about damage done to the road.
Well, it's, again, I go back to it's specific damage.
Yeah,
In other words, the damage that's happening from horse hooves is specific to the horse hooves. You can see it, you can see the tracks, you can see the, I can take you out to County Road 64 and show you the damage already. Now, right now, it's more, what do I want to say? It's more the way it looks. It's more cosmetic at this point. A year from now, it'll be real damage we'll have to repair. At $10,000 a mile to patch it, it would take 200 buggy fees at $50, not including administrative costs, to do 1 mile. Do you still think 50 would cover it? Is that fair? 1 mile every year?
I don't know, it would have to be, something, I guess you'd have to look at it,
Okay,
carefully.
we need to move on now and give other folks a chance to come up and speak.
The only other thing I wanted to ask, most of the road, our taxes pay for the road issues for repair, or, I'm talking about from the state government, that needs to be looked at, I think, a little bit more sternly. I don't know what's going on with them guys down there, but
Those fees are generated off a fuel tax.
Yeah, and I know that's gonna dwindle at some, but that's gonna be a long time down the road. That ain't gonna happen overnight.
Oh, yes, it is.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they're
Okay,
already-
we need to, you need to have a seat, sir. You need to have a seat and leave somebody else come up.
Thank you.
Anyone else to speak against?
My name's Hilliard Muncy, 4464 County Road 63. Butler.
Butler.
I'm in agreement that everybody needs to pay their share for taxes on the road. I have no problem with that. I want to ask you a question. The last thing I heard, you was proposing $650 for a buggy, but it could be switched to other buggies. Is this
Right.
true?
Right. That was a conversation. And it could be switched between buggies in that particular family.
Okay.
Not across families, in that particular family.
I speculate that the Amish would have at least 2, maybe 3 buggies. Okay, if their kids go to school, they gotta have a license plate on that. At the last meeting we was saying, what is a small wagon, what it is? Because there's a horse on the road, right?
Comment to that, yes.
Yeah.
So that ties up all their other buggies. They can't go anywhere. What if there's an emergency? I think there ought to be a fee for each buggy, but not $650,
I can agree with that to a degree.
because that's pretty excessive.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, the problem that they ran into in some counties is they'd lower the fee, with the lower fee, and even with the lower fee, they take that license and pass it around. And so
I don't think that should be allowed.
I
How would
agree,
you
I
enforce
agree.
it, though, without a serial number on the vehicle?
Well, how can you enforce the $650 on one buggy?
Well, if you don't
If
have
you
a
don't
plate, you
have
get a
a-
fine.
Huh?
If you don't have a plate on it, you get a fine. The problem is trying to associate that plate with that buggy, because the buggy don't have a vehicle identification number. When you get pulled over by the police, they look at your registration and make sure it matches your car. If it doesn't, they tow your car.
Well, I know that.
So with a buggy without a VIN, how would we say that plate belongs with that buggy? That's why we tried to give some leeway there.
Are you folks against the VIN number? I don't know.
Well, we can't require a VIN number.
We can't require a VIN on a
That's-
vehicle.
VIN numbers are state and federal requirements. We're not, that's not part of this ordinance.
Yeah, we can't even do it.
Well, I personally don't think that $650 for one buggy and pass it around is right.
Doesn't what, I'm sorry?
It's not right.
Oh, okay.
I think it needs to be a lower fee, and any buggy they drive on the road should have a license.
What do you think a fair fee would be?
back around what I said earlier, $200, $250.
Okay. Is
That's
that
for
where you said
multiple
earlier?
plates. That's for more than one plate.
Pardon?
That would be to buy more than one plate. Each plate, 250.
Right. For one thing, it's a safety hazard if they're sitting at home and that buggy's somewhere else. They can't go. Legally, they can't go anywhere.
Okay, so at $250, they buy 2 plates, they're up to $500.
Pretty close,
Buy 3
yes.
plates, they're over the $650.
I know.
We're right at the $650.
But they're limited to what they can do.
You know, that's
On the
kind of why
buggies.
we're here, to get
Well,
ideas and
and I
suggestions.
appreciate these comments. This is the kind of stuff I want to hear because I think we're communicating now. So, you know, that's,
And then I addressed the Horsemen's Association the last time too. Has anything been decided on what would be with them?
how often do they run the county roads? Isn't it mostly just in-town parades?
That's what I was gonna, next question.
Are they,
Is city roads and state roads counted as county roads?
No. We have no jurisdiction on them. They can run their horses as much as they want in Auburn, Butler. We have no say on that.
Okay, because that's what our majority of, probably 99%.
But Spencerville, unfortunately, is unincorporated, meaning the county maintains all them roads, so we do have jurisdiction there.
Even on the state road there?
No.
State road
Not on the
one?
state road, no.
city streets,
City
town
streets.
streets?
Okay,
Yeah.
Is the Horsemen's Association a 501c3?
yes.
It is. I think that's something we could look at, seriously.
Carve out for nonprofits.
Exempt the
nonprofits.
501c3. Yeah, you could exempt a 501c3.
I would be in favor of
Is
that.
that, okay.
Okay, them's the issues that I had on it. Well, thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, sir.
Appreciate the comments.
Anyone else?
I'm going to speak. I'm Jesse Zare. I live on 4453 County Road 60. One of you guys called me. I'm not sure which one it was. Doesn't matter.
How do you spell the last name?
Zehr.
It's just like it sounds. Huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I moved up here 13 years ago, and I was asking about license plates, buy license plates. And nobody would ever direct me where to go and buy one. We're not opposed to license plates whatsoever. And I think I can speak on any one of the Amish that live up here. But we do ask that it's reasonable. In Allen County, I think they're $60. 99% of the time when I leave my house on 60, I got a quarter-mile stretch there, and from there to Allen County, it's dirt roads. So the roads that I run up here, like I say, 99% of the time is going to be on a dirt road because my kin are all down in Allen County. That's where I go. Very seldom ever do I go to Spencerville. It has happened. I got on State Road 1, went south, just to bypass the dirt roads. But if it's unreasonable, we're not against it, myself. So, thank you.
What would be your suggestion?
Well, Allen County, I think they're at $60 right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me finish my question. What would you prefer, multiple plates at a lower rate or a single plate at a higher rate?
Multiple plates at a lower rate, absolutely. Because, number one, when I leave to go to a youth gathering, my youth are going to leave as well. So I got 2 more buggies right there. So if I want to go to that youth gathering that night, I can't, or one of them guys can't go either. It's only one buggy's going to go. So definitely a lower rate.
Okay.
In multiple plates.
Anybody else like to make a comment on that? Same question? Multiple? And we could trust you would not buy one plate and pass it back and forth between buggies. Would you come to the podium, please? Yeah. You need to,
We got to get your name and address for the record.
Yeah.
Willis Graber.
Remember you from last time?
6969 County Road 39.
Would you please repeat what you heard?
As far as the plates, you know, it was brought up about taxes. We do pay sales tax on our buggies when we buy them. We pay sales tax on everything that's taxable, just like anybody else in the community or in the county. And we're not opposed to buy a plate, but I wouldn't want to do the one high plate and to be worrying about transferring because that's not feasible. I mean, all you're going to do is tempt people to run without is all you're going to do. And if you make it too high, you're going to make people want to dodge around it and only get one. If you make it reasonable, I know when I was at home, we bought plates, how many buggies we had.
Yeah.
So if people see you're wanting to work with them, I think, and there again, I can't speak for every individual just as well as you guys can't for your people. If you have somebody trying to dodge around it, I guess, you know, that's not what we're wanting to do, but we want to encourage our community to cooperate with what it takes and what's reasonable. But I see when a road needs repair done, once it's visible signs of the buggy damage, there's as well going to be years of wear from the vehicle too, you know, as well. Like I said, when we get home, a lot of our travel, most of these guys, everybody's jobs are during the day. All them miles are paid by the Amish. Was talking about what a semi-trailer or what he pays on the road. He's traveling all them miles. All these vehicles that go to work, every one of them miles are paid by the Amish because he is hired that guy to run that road and all that. So we contribute with that, and you know, if we buy this plate, so we are helping to pay the road repair on both ends.
Yeah.
And I know some people get the idea that we don't get into some of the taxes, but we pay a lot of county, the taxes that come in on our taxes that go to other municipals that we don't even, and that's our choice. We don't take out of or benefit from, but we still have to pay those taxes. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to run up against the clock here pretty soon. Yes, sir.
Victor's there, live at 6965 County Road 45, Spencerville. First of all, I want to take the opportunity we really appreciate you guys. Without you guys, we wouldn't have a road to drive on. I want to take a moment and say thank you for all your hard work, effort. I know it's not easy, always to hit the medium or the middle, make everybody happy on both sides, but it's got to make economically, it's got to make sense for you guys and for us. With that being said, County Road 45, I bought the property in 2013 and we moved last year in 2021. For some reason or another, that road can never, ever get right. And I know there's some challenges with that road, but it's not horse and buggy damage. I would invite every one of you to take the opportunity to drive down that mile stretch from County Line to County Road 68 and see the challenges. I see the challenges of you folks driving the vehicle, and it's very challenging. It's very swaby and bumpy and rolly, especially halfway in between. I think I'm getting a little off course here, but I think there's going to be some problems with some potential crashes. But anyways, back on the plates. I think multiple plates. You guys have been asking for dollar amounts. I think if you start off with the main plate, I know in Allen County that's how they did it. I'm not saying we have to manipulate, or not manipulate, but do the same that they're doing. But if we do $100 a plate, $50 a plate after, I think you're going to get somewhere in that $300-$400 range. There's a lot of people that have 3, 4, 5, 6 buggies. I think the opportunity for you folks is to get everybody plated, make everybody legal, and that's what we want too. We want to pay our share. We don't want a free ride. We're not asking for that. So if you do $100 a plate and do $50 after, I think in our household, you would have $350, $400 with the people we got, everybody that has a buggy. So it would add up fairly quick. It'd be a reasonable amount in my mind. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. What do you think, guys? Anybody else? Got one more, you got time for one more, about 3 minutes.
I'm a Lowell apprentice, 1051 County Road 15, Ashley. I'm in Fairfield Townships. I grew up down that way. But my question is, these ATVs and side-by-sides, how much are we charging for stickers and stuff for on those?
We, by law, can't charge anything.
But they're legal.
Yes, the state controls that 100%.
Okay, my area, I don't have problems with the Amish because I don't have Amish. But I got side-by-sides and four-wheelers, and I mean, my road is, I live on a mile section between County Road 8 and County Road 10 gravel. My road is always tore up with ATVs and side-by-sides and donuts. County Road 10 and 13, the intersection there north of Fairfield Center, it's a nice big intersection. There's cars and stuff in there doing donuts, tearing those roads up. What are we going to do about that?
They're caught, they get arrested. It's like any crime you commit. How do you, if
Like I
you don't
say,
catch them?
we're not taxing them, but they're damaging the roads. So
They pay a sticker fee through the state. We locally can't tax
But is
them.
it $600?
No, no.
Is it more like $5?
What is it, 25?
25,
I think it's 25. Yeah. Mandated by the state, though. We can't
Definitely
even.
not near that much.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think we are going to have
take a
to
break.
conclude this.
We're at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we're 10 o'clock. So I will close the public hearing at this point, and we will reconvene when we come back to the commissioners' meeting after our break.
Thanks for the input, guys.
Thank you all for taking time to come in and give us your comments.
This was
Appreciate it.
truly helpful.
Yeah, very much.
This will really help us make a decision. And hopefully everybody will be able to live with it. I'm not going to say everybody's going to be happy, but I can. I'm sorry.
Just 20 seconds for your time. Please drive down 45 between Allen,